What's up guys, I'm GLG Spoon. Welcome back to Grand Line Gaming. Today we're going to be having a market watch for you guys. We're going to look at what's new, what's fresh, what's cheap, and what you should pick up now versus later. So to start off, let's look at EB02 or Extra Booster Anime 25th Edition. Okay, so when looking at these cards, one card you're definitely going to want to pick up, and I want to start with this, is Bonnie. So we have a bunch of new starter deck support coming out. We have Purple Black Luffy, we have Blackbeard, we have Shanks. All those leaders are getting new starter decks, including Bonnie. Now this Bonnie could be some hidden support, K, and you might want to pick this up before it goes up in price if this Bonnie starter deck is good. And right now it's $4. Now keep in mind, before we talk about this set is relatively new, so a lot of these cards are going to be inflated in value. So you want to have a grain of salt with that, because of all these inflated prices, it could really mess up the market, and you don't want to buy something for higher than it normally is. So all these cards are going to go down, but if you wait too long, they're going to shoot right back up. So you could give it another couple days and then check back with the market, but I think this Bonnie you should definitely pick up now. Being at $4 is kind of a steal, especially if it's going to go up in the future. Now this card, like I said, it could either go up or down depending on the starter deck, okay? So it could either raise in value if the starter deck is good or lower in value if it's bad. Okay, so that's the Bonnie. Next up, we got this Nefertari Vivi. I think this is a really good card. $6.55 is a bit pricey, but it's going to be ran in a bunch of multicolored leaders, okay? So basically, I think almost any blue multicolor leader wants to run this. Okay, it's just an amazing like draw card. That's the main thing. And we see that, let's see, it went down in value to $4.79 and it's going back up. Now, I think this card's a bit tricky to predict as well. I don't know if these cards hit their lowest yet. I feel like this card could go back down in the future, but it's pretty good support, not gonna lie, for any multicolored leader. But since it's so generic and can work with any multicolored leader, I don't think it's a bad steal at $6.55. If you're willing to dish out that money, I really don't think that's a bad pickup. Okay, and then next from Extra Booster, we have this Trafalgar Law. Now honestly, I don't know what this would be running. It could be running Koala, or it could be running any Dressrosa leader, but I don't think this card is gonna get run that much. Now that being said, I think it could drop below $2 at one point. We see it's only dropped since it came out. Now like I said, the only decks that will run this are probably either Black Yellow Luffy or Koala, one of those two. Unless another leader comes out in the future, I wouldn't really hope on this card going much higher. I think it's gonna stay around this mark, maybe drop down to like $1.80 or $1 and some change. But yeah, you could probably hold off on this one unless there's a leader coming out that you hear about. Then I would just hold off on this one. Next up, we have this Yamato. This Yamato gives a lot of support to Odin, and I think it's gonna go back down right now. I think there's a little bit of hype just because it recently came out, but it does give some support to Odin mainly. And yeah, you're mainly going to be running this in Odin, not really Porky's the Ace. But yeah, that's the only reason you'd want this, but you could probably wait on this because I assume this will go down as well, just a little bit of hype. Now Sengoku right here, I think at $8 is a little bit high. I could see it going down just a little. Honestly, I feel like it's just a little bit too high right now. I think you could get it down to $5 if we just hold out on it. It'll go down to $5. But this is a pretty good blocker, you know, turboing out a character. And yeah, just having that blocker status and a 1k counter is pretty good. So you could pick it up at $7, but I think it'll go down a little bit lower. That's my prediction. Okay. And now we have this Enel. Now Enel is kind of in a rough position here. Like, yes, this is really good support for Enel, but I really don't think Enel is that good. I think it's just hype right now. I think a lot of these cards just have inflated hype just because they think the leader is going to be super good. With Enel, I don't think he's going to be that good to the point of this card being $9. I think you could get this card down to $7. $7 or $8, honestly, I think is a good price for this card. But $9, it's a dollar higher than $8, obviously, but I don't think it's a bad pickup at $9. You could cop it if you want. And then all these events, I think if we look at the patterns that EB01 had, like all these events I'm talking about where you can search out a 4 cost or more with all these events, okay, I think they're all going to go up in value. or at least specific colors, because I think there's going to be a leader that needs it. I think there will be a leader in time that is not going to have an archetype, and it's just going to run whatever, and these events are going to be crucial. So these are always good to just hold on to, because I feel like 1 or 2 colors are just going to shoot up in value. Okay, now we got the main focus of this starter deck. The main like chase card of this EVO2 is Sanji and Pudding. Okay, now this card is pretty good. Honestly, it's really good for green purple Luffy, grape Luffy, and at $18 it's pretty good. But I think there is a ban list coming. Bandai announced they were gonna make an announcement soon. Okay, so we don't know what's gonna happen to grape Luffy, and we don't know what's gonna happen to Gum Gum Instawin or Gum Gum Giant. So I would be careful with buying this card, because if Gum Gum Giant gets banned, I think grape stocks are going down, and this card is going down too, unfortunately. So I think this is a decent price to buy it at, honestly, but just be warned that there could be a ban list and it just ruins the price of this card. It could just tank the price of this card. So yeah, because that's the only deck it's getting run with, so that's the only little caveat I would say. And then let's see, this Roanoa Zoro, honestly, I feel like it's gonna be amazing with that new Zoro leader coming out. Okay, so I feel like this isn't a bad pickup. It's obviously just a rare, so it's not going to be anything crazy, but it's always nice to just have, because we know with cards like Flampe and EVO1, they jacked up in price. Like the rares just jacked up in price. So I definitely would try and pick this up if you can, or as many copies as you can, because I feel like if Zoro is good, then this card is going to be ran, and we know that rares can get pretty pricey sometimes, let's be honest. Okay, and then most of other cards aren't really of note. We have Vegapunk. Sorry, let me not ignore Vegapunk. Now, honestly, I'm kind of a hater on Vegapunk. Okay, I'm kind of a hater on Vegapunk, and I don't understand why this card is so pricey. Like, it might just be me, but I really don't understand why this card is so damn pricey, honestly. It's a searcher that has a blocker. You know, it's nice for Vegapunk, let's not lie, it's nice, but Vegapunk is not that meta. He's kind of off meta. You know, he's not bad, but he's not completely meta. But yeah, this, I feel like you could just wait for this to go down to $10 or below. I think $12 isn't really needed for this Vegapunk card. But yeah, other than that, that's all the cards for this booster box that would be worth noting. So let's move on. Oh, wait. Sorry. Before we move on, this Arlong. I think this is an amazing card, and I think it's such a good pickup. I think it is such a good pickup just in case any Fishman or East Blue type leaders come out in the future. It's such a good tech to have, and who knows, they do give, I feel like they have a lot of Fishman leaders coming out recently. They've been pumping out Fishman leaders, so I feel like this is a nice little pickup. You know, it could help in the future, or it could go up in price in the future, I feel like. And it's definitely a slept on card, because if there's one meta Fishman leader, this card will be run instantly. So yeah, I would definitely try and pick up this card if you guys can. Next up, we're going to look at Royal Blood real quick. Look at some pickups. So let's start with this Sanji right here. Now, Sanji is pretty good at Shanks, but we know that Shanks does fall off in the future, okay? In the next set, once UP Luffy comes out or Blue Purple Luffy comes out, we know that it just tanks in value, or not the card, but Shanks just is not as good anymore. So this card being at $6, I feel like it's going to go down. Honestly, it's been on a downward trend recently. I feel like it's only going to go down a little more. It will be run in, what's his name? He will be run in Rayleigh though, so he could go up a little, Sanji. But it's up to you, honestly. I think it could go a little lower. Like, you could probably buy it for $5 or below if you want. Next up, we're looking at this Tashigi. Now, I think Tashigi is an amazing card. I think this card's just going to go up in value over time, because it helps with green so much. It just helps into its black matchup, which green already has a tough time with Bonnie to Rob Lucci. It just has a really tough time. So this Tashigi really helps, and I feel like it's only going to go up in value. So I think $3 is a pretty good price for it, not gonna lie. I would definitely cop a few of these if you need them. So yeah, check these out and maybe pick these up if you have the money for it. Next up, we have the Smoker. Now, I think Smoker is in an awkward position. I think it's a little bit slow, but I feel like it's still a good card. I feel like there's going to be power creep on it, and they're just going to be better cards, but honestly, 175 is not bad for Smoker. I could see Smoker going down a little, but it's really not bad. And then let's look at this Kuzan right here. Now, Kuzan, I think, will go up in value just a little, not too much, a little, just because of that new Blackbeard starter deck. This is not a bad pickup at all for 99 cents. If you like Blackbeard and you like what he does, then I would definitely pick up this Kuzan. 99 cents is a pretty good price. And yeah, just maybe get a couple of these just in case Blackbeard pops off with this new starter deck. We also have Eustace Captain Kidd at $1.10. This is not bad, a high cost card. Yellow's not really in the meta right now, so it could be a good steal right now because this could get played in the future. And once Yellow comes back, because Yellow will come back, mark my words. But $1.10 is not bad because Yellow, like I said, will see the light of day one day. So yeah, maybe pick up a couple of these too. And then we also have this Monkey D. Luffy right here. Now, here's the thing with this card. I think it could be ran in Koala. I think it's not a bad choice in Koala, just because you're sticking to that hand-ripping philosophy and you're building your trash with Koala, and it has Dressrosa and will work with the stage. So I definitely could see some people teching this in with Koala, so I don't think it's a bad pickup. And obviously it is a secret rare, and secret rares aren't bad to own all the time, because who knows, they could be really hard to find in the future, and they could go up in price, like a card we're going to discuss later. So I think it could go down a little more, but as we see here, it's kind of just stayed the same over its lifetime, so I don't think you're getting much lower than 369. If anything, it'll only go up, so yeah, you could pick this card up too. And then let's talk about this Trafalgar Law. Now, I think Green Yellow Law will be amazing in the future. I think Green Yellow Law will be like top of its class. When we get to OP11, OP12, I think when we get to OP12, Green Yellow Law will be amazing. The leaked cards that there have been, if you don't know them, please look them up, or we can make a video if you guys want, just let us know. But I think Green Yellow Law will be amazing, and this is a pretty good pickup. And with that Rosinante leader coming out in OP12, that would be an amazing pickup with this, because you could bring it down to a 5 cost if you didn't know, by minusing a Dawn. So yeah, I think $11 is a pretty good price, and I think it's going to shoot up soon. Once people realize how good Green Yellow Law is going to be, this card will shoot up in price. So I would definitely pick it up. And yeah, it's a good yellow card for any Supernova leader too, or any leader that runs the Supernova type. So I would definitely pick this up if it goes any lower than 11, because I think it's going to shoot up in value pretty soon. And then from this set, there's nothing really of note left to talk about. Let's see. Yeah, nothing really left of note. I know that this Zora will probably get ran with Koala, but it's just a little rare, so it's not that expensive. And then alt arts, you know, it's kind of hard to tell with alt arts. They fluctuate, and it's pretty much gonna match the price of the base card. Let's look at Emperors of the New World now. Gum Gum Giant, I think this card is getting banned. I don't know if you even want to sell this, it's 95 cents, but this card, I have a sneaking suspicion it will get banned with Bandai's announcement. Let's see. This Sanji right here, I don't think it's a bad pickup. It's pretty good for any purple deck. So being at 142 is pretty good. I could only see it getting higher, maybe dropping down to $1, but I could only see it rising from this point on. So yeah, up to you if you want to get that, but that's not a bad pickup. Ben Beckman, I think since Shank stocks are going to go down, I feel like, well, Shank stocks are going to go down when UP Luffy comes out, but with the starter deck, I think he's just going to get rotated out for other cards, if I'm being completely honest. So you could pick him up. He's not a bad price, obviously, but I think he's just going to get subbed out for other cards in the future, not going to lie, or he's going to get run of as a 1 or a 2 of. So picking up like 2 of him wouldn't be bad. Let's see, Koala, I feel like this could be a nice card to pick up just because of Yellow Black Koala. As you see, the stock jumped up when it got announced, so I don't think this card is going to be run personally. People could tech it in, but I don't think it's going to be a card that's ran. But you could always pick it up if you want to jump the market. It might get ran, don't take my word for it, but yeah, if you think it's going to shoot up in value, maybe take this card. But personally, for me, I don't think Yellow Black Koala is going to run it. And then let's see. This Shanks, I think, is going to stay around the same price. Like I said, just because of Shanks having a rough matchup in the future. I think it's going to stay around that same price. And then that is all the cards of note from this set. Next, we're going to move on to 2 legends briefly. And we're not really going to cover cards we're not really going to cover cards before this set. I feel like a lot of those cards have been like kind of crept out, and we're just going to look at singular instances of cards after this. So looking at this Nami, it's ran in almost every yellow deck. Very good, very strong. I would, at $5.99, I feel like we could get it a little bit lower. There are no really good yellow decks of note that are coming out that would run this that I could think of. Like, yes, an L support, but I don't think an L is going to be that good, so I could see this card going down. It all depends on these yellow leaders getting released in the future, but as we see, it hasn't really gone higher than 749 the past 3 months. If we look at the past year, the highest it has been what, 887. So I feel like you could wait for it to go down a little, but it's not going to get that much pricier if it does get ran a little more. And then we got Charlotte Linlin. I think this is a really good pickup at 314 just because of UP Luffy, just because of Katakuri. So many purple decks are going to run this card, and I feel like it's an amazing card to pick up at $3.14. And I feel like this card is only going to go up in the future too. So I would definitely stake your claim right now into this card. We also have Carrot. Now, Carrot's a pretty good green card at $2.25. I feel like she could get ran in the future by any green leader. Honestly, she's not leader locked, and she has an amazing ability. So I would definitely pick up Carrot for less than $3. Anything over $4 on Carrot, I wouldn't get. And then we also have, let's see, Jozu. Now, Jozu's getting some support, or not some support, but Jozu's being used a little more. Obviously, it's a rare, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now we get to Jack. Jack has been seeing less play over time, so I think you can pick him up if you want, but no decks are really running him, so you can probably skip out on him. And then we have Silver's Rayleigh, the bane of everybody's existence when they try to build a red deck. Just because of this secret rare, it makes it so pricey. $30 is insane. Like, wow. And honestly, like a lot of these expensive cards, I think he will be reprinted. Silver's Rayleigh most likely will get a reprint, and we'll see some form of reprint just to lower that value. But $27 is pretty absurd, and unless you're dead set on running red, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't buy him because he's just so expensive right now. And if you could just wait till that next reprint set, he's definitely gonna come out. But yeah, if you can't wait, sure, you can get him. I feel like he's just slowly lowering in value, but I feel like he's not a bad pickup if you're feeded to play red. But yeah, me personally, I'm gonna hold back and wait until that reprint comes out. And then Kaido Linlin, everybody has been trying to make this card work, but it just hasn't. Maybe one deck will come up that makes it work, but as of now, I feel like it's not a bad pickup. Just any secret rare for less than $5 is a pretty good price, and just having them in your stock isn't a bad option to do. Just because you could sell them in the future, get some money, even if you don't use it if they become meta, you know? And then, unpopular opinion, I think Pudding's going to rise up a little just because of Purple Katakuri. He's been seeing more play in the East, and I think this card will have a slight spike, nothing crazy. Probably just up to like 90 cents a dollar maybe, but nothing crazy. And then let's move on to other cards. These are going to be like singular cards that are just crazy in value right now. For example, Sanji. OP06 Secret Rare Sanji. Like I said, another absurd price. I think this card will get a reprint. Either it's going to get reprinted or banned, because this card is kind of crazy right now. Just turboing out another 9 cost, especially with blue purple Luffy, is just annoying. But yeah, this card is pretty overtuned and it's pretty expensive. So like I said, it's either getting reprinted or banned. If it gets banned, it's tanky in value. If it gets reprinted, it's tanky in value. So I think you're good either way just to sit back on this, unless you're fiended to play UP Luffy. Then of course just buy it, because it's only gonna go up as the leader gets closer and closer. So yeah, definitely depends on how much you want to play the deck at the end of the day. We also have Cavendish, $30 again, absurd. Another card that's probably going to be reprinted. If you're feeding to play green, like I say every single time, buy the card. If not, just hold back. All of these cards, the last three I talked about, Sanji and Rayleigh, I think they're all getting reprints. Sanji, Rayleigh, Cavendish are all getting reprints, man. They're just so expensive right now. And along with reprints, another card that's probably going to get reprinted is Brook. Brook is also insane. Both of these cards being $30 alone from the same set is wild work. Whoever made the price this high needs jail time ASAP, not gonna lie. They need to be locked up. But yeah, just hold off on these. They're gonna get reprinted. If you could wait, if you're like itching, foaming at the mouth, only if that's the case, then buy these, sure. But these are absolutely insane right now. Unless you're a millionaire, I wouldn't get these. And then Hody Jones ran an evergreen deck, so I would pick this up if you can. It's a very popular card for evergreen deck and very generic. I can only see it going up. Yes, it's downward trending right now, but it's always just a nice addition to have in your binder if you need it in the future. But as far as market watches go, I think that's enough cards that we covered, all the important cards. So yeah, I would just like to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and as always, GLG out.